Kirungohoma. So this is episode 3 in our sword making series. Now today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing off the sword. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long, and I'm just going to talk about some of the processes that have got us to this point. So, if you've been watching the series so far, you know we're up to number 3. Now, what we've been making is we've been whittling a sword out of a piece of fallen wood. Now, what I'm going to do, I've done lots and lots of research on this, and there are some really amazing wooden swords being made across YouTube for things like cosplay and LARPing and just for fun. There are some real fantastic videos. I'm going to try and link some of those in the descriptions below. And a lot of this, what I've noticed though, is a lot of those require a lot of power tools and things like that, and they're also made from treated and pre-cut timber and things like that, and they come with templates. This is a very different build. This is a lot of freehand eyeballing it, this is made from an actual fallen limb, and which is why it is the way it looks. You know, it's very bespoke, I suppose. Bespoke, not really the right word. Rubbish. Just odd, not universal looking or anything like that. You can't really achieve a universal look without the right tools and the right kind of materials. I'm happy with what came out. Slightly envious of the videos that I looked at it on man, imagine what I could have done with a table saw. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, considering that it was done with just a machete. So what we're going to be looking at today is, like I said yesterday, we're going to start working on the pommel. And so I lopped the end of it off last night and I started shaping it, and just now I cut more of the section off, so to get it to what it is now. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and keep working on the handle and thin the handle down a little bit. Now my handle is very rounded. On a medieval sword they are relatively flat, if that makes sense. So I'm going to work on trying to make this a little bit skinnier. I'm pretty happy with the blade. I don't want to mess around with the blade too much. You can see that it gets a bit of a bend at the bottom. What I am concerned about is if I mess around with it too much, it's going to weaken the blade, and because this is going to be, you know, I want the weight in it to represent what a real medieval sword would be like, just the weight of it. So that's the objective. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shape the pommel a little bit more, refine it a little bit, probably look at making it a 3-log pommel, and I'll add a picture into the video so you can get an idea of what that looks like too. Round the edges off a little bit. It's going to take me a little bit of eyeballing to get the pommel right, I would say. I'm going to have to use an engraving tool for that. But like I said, I think the main objective today is to work on the handle, the hilt, and maybe skin it, make it a little bit slightly more skinny. A little bit more, it's a nice grip for me as an adult with my big mitts, but it would be nice to be a bit slimmer, if that makes sense. I don't want to skinny it down too much because then it's liable to break on contact with something, but it would be nice if it was a little bit more of a comfortable grip. That's quite a chunky, meaty grip. I've really got to hold on to it to make sure I've got a good grip on it. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to flatten it down. I'm going to flatten off this pommel a little bit too and shape that. So to use that, I'm going to use my rotary tool in the background there. I'm going to set that up, and I'm going to switch to time lapse so you can see what I'm doing, and speed the whole process up, and just smooth the whole thing out so it looks nice. Hopefully by the end too, I'll be able to give it a nice, probably will spray it, to be honest with you, to make it metallic-y looking. I can always sand that back at a later date. But yeah, that's the objective. Stick around and we'll get straight into it. Covered in dust. Oh, Jiminy Jillicus. It's really important that if you're ever going to... Oh man, beer's full of the stuff. if you're ever going to do anything like that, sanding and things like that, it's really important to wear the correct safety protection. Really, what I should have done is had a mask on. Outside, I wasn't too worried about it, too concerned, because there's a nice breeze blowing the material away from me. That being said, you can see there's a lot of dust still attached to me from static from the old polyester shirt. But also, it was the main thing is to wear goggles, because you know you've only got one set of eyes and you've got to really look after them. So that's something as a takeaway for what we did today. But that's my pommel there. I've done it. I had a problem that the attachment that extends my tool. Hey baby, can you come say hello? So the problem with the attachment that I had, for some reason it's come loose, and so any tool that you put in the end won't fasten properly, so I did a bit of a hash job, and that's why you saw me change the tool halfway through and put it into the actual rotary tool itself and use it that way. So I'm not too happy with how that came out, but I can fix that up later. I'm not too stressed about it, you know, it's only a wooden sword. But
you need that to do it, okay?
Okay, I'm being given further instructions. I need that to do it, okay? But I did skinny the handle down a bit, and it's got a much better grip now. You can see before it was like that, and now it's like this. So that's a much, and it feels nicer and more ergonomic even. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've also, you can see like there's no edge on it. I've taken the edge clean off, so it's nice and rounded. That bit there could probably do with a bit more of a sand to make it nice and round. But yeah, I think what I'll do now is rather than painting it a colour, it would look much nicer if I oiled it. Because it's a practice sword, it's not a legit one, if that makes sense. So these are something that they would have given to squires and page boys and all that kind of stuff, and even men would have used it to practice with back in the olden days. So I do need to use the tool. Oh, the whole family's here this afternoon. So yeah, like I said, this is basically the end of it. What I'll do is I'll attach a photo at the end of the oiled finished sword. Probably attach.
I have.
You have. Hold on, baby. Hold on. I'll probably put a photo as well of one of my last projects that I did years and years ago of another sword that I made, just to show you an example of what you could do with just hand tools making swords. So yeah, I quite enjoyed this. This is very therapeutic for me. I haven't done this in a very long time. I'm pretty happy with the way the handle came out. Obviously because of the material and the stock, it didn't get as much of a handguard as what I would have liked, but it came out pretty good in the end anyway. So yeah, till next time, ka kite anō. What we're going to look at probably in the next set of videos is lamellé armour, which is like a scale plate armour. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Until next time, you say ka kite? Can you say ka kite?
Ka kite.